Oliver Solberg has gone from a potential World Rally Championship title contender to WRC benchmark in a week. The Swede and co-driver Elliot Edmondson did what only the bravest would have predicted. They defeated the Monte Carlo Rally's greatest ever driver and reigning world champion Sébastien Ogier, and by a big margin, and on his home event. The 24-year-old had already demonstrated his speed to win last year's Rally Estonia in a one-off drive with Toyota Gazoo Racing, but making an immediate impact and topping the podium in the Principality, that didn't make sense. How could it? In 6 previous attempts, Solberg had never won the Rally 2 category. Instead, he'd crashed, bounced off curbs, broken wheels, and on his debut with the factory Hyundai team in 2022, he'd been forced out after almost being choked on exhaust fumes. Little wonder the Monte Carlo Rally was seen as such a long shot for Solberg. So how did he do it? After being sacked by Hyundai in late 2022, Oliver landed a deal to drive a Skoda for the next 2 years. He was the clear favourite and clearly the fastest driver, but both times he missed out on the WRC2 title. Last year he joined Prince Sport to drive a GR Yaris Rally 2. He took a slightly different, more relaxed approach and dominated the championship to score a maiden world title. In the middle of the year came the Estonian opportunity. He grabbed it with both hands and reminded the world why he was the sport's next big thing. Ultimately, however, it would take Kalle Rovanperä wanting to go racing for Oliver to get his seat at the top table. Once there, he began talking about the potential for more wins, starting with next month's Rally Sweden. For Monte Carlo, maybe a podium. The Monte Carlo Rally brings factors into play the WRC Elite rarely see for the rest of the season. It's the only rally where crews choose between 2 compounds of asphalt tyres, snow tyres and studded tyres, coping with an often changing set of conditions that vary from damp asphalt to snow to slush and ice. When the Alps deliver a weather lottery, the unaware and the inexperienced falter. Experience makes a difference on every rally, but there are few events where it creates such a stark difference in performance. In theory, Solberg was on the back foot from the start compared to rivals like Ogier, Elfyn Evans and Thierry Neuville. Running Hyundai driver Adrien Fourmeau a close second on December's Develoy Rally, a French national round which is widely seen as the perfect Monty warm-up, offered an indication that Oliver and Elliot would quickly find their feet in a Monty-spec Yaris. Ahead of the Monty, Kevin Struijff, Toyota's engineering manager, was quietly confident. The pre-event test had been similarly positive to Develoy, and a very workable setup was established for the number 99 Toyota. As we know, Solberg likes to drive the Yaris quite differently to his teammates. We understood this from Estonia last year. He wants the window of operation to be as wide as possible, while the other Toyota drivers feel that brings instability to the car, especially under braking. It allows Oliver to drive his car straighter, cleaner and carry more entry speed into corners. Crucially, in Monte Carlo, that setup gave him confidence and allowed him to explore the limits and spend longer out on the outer edges of the envelope. Where others feared radically changing grip levels, Solberg was able to exploit them and pull big time gaps, like for example the 31 seconds he took out of everybody on the second stage. That time moved him into a lead he would never relinquish. Starting 7th on the road had undoubtedly helped, but there was also a family secret to consider when understanding the speed on snow.
I drove like I do on my quad bike at home when it's icy, you know. At home I do a lot of quad bikes without studs. I sit like this with my pedals, you know. Left, right to keep the diff going. That I learned from my beloved mother, actually. Ooh. Can you imagine? So we were out Subaru driving Group N car when I was little. And she said to keep the diff active and keep the car controlled, you need to modulate, throttle brake at the same time, and that's what I do.
Solberg's win stands above anything the sport has witnessed in its modern era. Look back in history and you could point to Henry Toivonen's incredible maiden World Championship success on the 1980 RAC Rally, just the Finn's 7th WRC start outside of his native Finland. More recently, Sebastian Loeb's first World Championship outing in the Citroën Zara WRC, the 2001 San Remo Rally, was one which took the series by storm. Granted, the young Frenchman lost out to his countryman Gilles Panizzi by a mere 11.4 seconds, but only when a late rainstorm saved the Peugeot man's blushes. 7 years on, and it's another Sebastian surprising everybody as Ogier won just his second ever stage in a World Rally car. In some horribly wintry conditions on Rally GB, the then recently crowned Junior World Champion forced his C4 WRC into the lead and stayed there for 4 stages before crashing out in Resolven on Saturday morning. Notice had been served. And notice, were it needed, was very much served on Sunday in Monte Carlo. The result itself is exceptional, but the potential for Toyota is huge. Solberg's social following is the strongest in the WRC, and like his father Petter, he's got the charisma and character to back up the success. Solberg Sr. was very much Mr. Subaru. His son could well become Mr. Toyota. But what did that moment mean to Oliver?
I don't know what to say. It's just a dream come true, you know. I actually, well, it wasn't a dream really, because I never thought it was possible. Because my dream was top 5, top 3 or something like that, and then ending up right here as a winner of the most difficult rally ever and the most historic rally ever. It's just mind-blowing. It's when you look at the roster of the people who's maybe won it the last 20 years, it's only 4 people or something, and Loeb sent me a long, fantastic message, and that means a lot. Well, the expectations was to have fun, do my rhythm, drive as good as I could, and I had a great feeling in the car. The team has been so helpful and great to make me comfortable once again, like in Estonia. And then I just thought, first time I kind of race against OGA and Monte Carlo and all this, and I thought, okay, let's see where I can pace myself, what's possible. And then after Thursday, I was like, okay, possible. Friday, okay. And yesterday I was stressed like crazy, and this morning. But power stage, I was calm and I could focus again, so it was good.
As we said at the top of this video, nobody saw this coming, but now everybody's asking the same question. Oliver Solberg and Elliot Edmondson are nailed-on bona fide championship challengers. Arguably, they were already favourites for round 2, but Oliver now goes into his home WRC round in Sweden as championship leader. Granted, that brings the potential for the poison chalice of running first on the road, but the odds on him becoming the first driver since 2006, when Marcus Grönholm won back-to-back events at the top of the season, have shortened considerably. And if he can win a Monte Carlo that's already being rated as one of the most complicated, technical and tricky events in the sport's recent history, the accepted thinking is that he can win anywhere. Solberg's speed, consistency and temperament, staying completely cool as he drove around the field after sliding off the road on Saturday, for example, demonstrate that he has every right to eye this year's title. Could this be the start of another generation of domination? Absolutely. And, as Solberg has always said, rallying is his life. He's going nowhere. He's in this sport for the long haul.